Welcome to another great edition of Mississippi Stories. I'm your host, Marshall Ramsey. I'm editor-at-large and editorial cartoonist here at Mississippi Today. Hey, thanks for watching. We got a great show, and I love this quote right here. Work is one of the most consistent ways that adults can participate in society. It's an important milestone on young people's path to adult success. And that's from America's Promise Alliance 2016. But our guest today is right there in the epicenter of helping people train up to be able to go and get a good career and to be able to work. And I'm really excited to have Caitlin Brooking with us here today with the Refill Jackson Initiative. Been around since 2019. You've taken over recently. I knew you in a former life when you were at Volunteer Mississippi.
Yes.
And but you were on the board at the time, and
Yes.
then you've moved over. You're now CEO, president, head bottle washer. You probably do fundraising. You do a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But Refill Jackson Initiative it's something. It started out, you had Refill Cafe, and then the pandemic hit, and that caused all kinds of issues. But you have continued the mission forward, and you're now getting people to apply for Cohort 18, which would be the 18th class on this. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's do the obligatory tell me a little bit about you part. You're originally from Massachusetts.
Yep.
From the Boston area, actually, Methuen,
Yes.
which is up near New Hampshire, actually.
Yes.
And folks, if you ever Google it, it looks like the most quaint little mill town you'll ever see. It's absolutely gorgeous. But obviously, Mississippi came calling after Hurricane Katrina, and you came down the coast to do some work, and you stayed.
Yes. Y'all
Yeah.
can't get rid of me now.
You're like me. You're not a Mississippian by birth, but you're one by choice.
Got here as soon as I could.
Yeah, exactly. So you like the winters better, right?
Yes. I'll take it.
But you seem to be the kind of person who really enjoys the mission of helping other people, and this seemed to be a good fit for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I actually love about Mississippi is there's so many opportunities to work with other people and kind of make change together. That's one thing about, especially Jackson, but all over Mississippi, people coming together and just making things happen.
When did you actually get to Jackson?
I arrived here in 2009. I started at the commission, Volunteer Mississippi. I had been a program director for an AmeriCorps program on the coast. And I guess I did an okay job because they asked me to come here and work at the state level.
Oh, wow. So that's how you ended up here. And so you did that for a long time. How did you get involved with Refill?
Well, I joined the board of Refill in 2016, I believe. And we were trying to get Jeff Good onto our board of commissioners. Yeah. He's a very busy man, and turns out he had another project that he had been trying to launch. Doing this nonprofit Refill Jackson initiative, at the time Refill Cafe. And so we asked him to be on our board, and he was like, I just can't do it. I'm trying to do this other thing. And I said, well, how can we help you? And he's like, I need board members. And so I said, okay, I'll do it.
You've got a great board now.
Yes.
And Carol Berger is the head of it. For those who don't know Carol, for years she was involved in United Way here in Jackson. And I've always thought that Carol was like one of the best go-to people if you needed something done in
Absolutely.
the city.
And her Facebook is like a historical record of movers and shakers in Jackson.
There are some, you ever notice that there's some people on Facebook that literally know when the birthdays are of all their friends? They don't need to look it up on Facebook. She would be one of those people.
I bet she is.
Yeah. But anyway, you got a good board. You got a great thing. How did it get started? Like you said, Jeff was in the middle of it. And talk a little bit about the mission, because it's really something great I wish I'd had it when I was 18 years old.
Absolutely. So our official mission is to build a healthier, wealthier Jackson for all.
Yes.
And that's pretty broad. So we work specifically with 18 to 24-year-olds who have been disconnected, whether from school or work. And it really runs the gamut of why they've become disconnected. We have folks ranging from being, totally homeless, like no resources to tap into, versus, kids who have just been disconnected from their peers and adults, especially after the pandemic, and they're just not sure how to move forward. So we really work with the individual youth to see, what do they actually want to do. our program isn't designed to elicit any specific outcomes. You know, we're not like a CDL program. We work from the perspective of the youth who's walking in the door.
Right.
So whatever the next best step for them is, that's what we're trying to get to.
Yeah, and you have a really talented staff. What do you
Gosh.
you about 5, 6, 7?
We
like that?
are 6 strong.
6
We're about to
strong,
bring
okay.
on a 7th.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Notice how I threw out a bunch of numbers just to make
Yeah,
sure I got
sure.
one of them right, but I think that's about right. But I'm incredibly talented. I was just looking up their resumes and their background and so forth too.
What a bunch
And
of
some of the
rock
skills
stars.
that you teach are like, I mean, everything from how to develop a personal budget.
Mhm.
Because you know what? If you're going to make a salary, you better know how to be able to stretch it through the whole month.
Absolutely.
But also one that really jumped out at me was anger management.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really important because
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard when you're not used to having to work with other people
I know.
to learn how to work with other people.
It can be tough. I mean,
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from
Yeah.
our curriculum. We do, and it's really kind of more broad emotional recognition of like
Yeah.
how you're feeling
Yeah.
and connecting that with how your body and mind react to that.
Right.
So that, you know, if you are getting angry or you're kind of becoming like disconnected from what you're doing, you can recognize that
Yeah.
and react to it
And step
instead
back.
of riding the wave.
Exactly.
So
This could be a tsunami sometimes. From personal
absolutely.
experience.
Yes, and I have learned so much actually. The members usually teach me at least, each member teaches me at least one thing,
Yeah.
but that's a big one. It's just emotional recognition and being able to kind of know how you're going to react and kind of plan for that.
What are some of the other skills that you teach?
So you mentioned budgets.
Mhm.
We actually have dialed it back even further to tracking expenses
Uh-huh.
and income, and helping members understand like what does a paycheck look like, what are deductions, like what are taxes, so that when they go into the workforce, you know, they're equipped with the knowledge that, you know, oh, this federal state taxes are going to come out of my paycheck, like just basic things like that. We talk a lot about. We talk about loans, housing. We do kind of basic workforce skills, so we practice a lot of interviewing. The members actually have to do 3 mock interviews
Oh, wow.
to graduate, and we have community volunteers who come in and do that. We do resume writing, professional communication is
That's
a big
huge.
area.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's actually one of our top outcomes
Mhm.
is that members are learning professional communication skills.
Right.
So each week we have a classroom component and an on-the-job training component. So the on-the-job training component, and we're looking at these things throughout the whole program, but we specifically give feedback on showing initiative, teamwork, communication, dress code, and response to supervision. So every single week, each member is getting individual feedback on how they did that week, you know, where they might have had some challenges. We problem solve with them, see what they might do better. But it's really important for them to get those concrete examples,
Yeah.
like this actually happened in the workplace, let's talk it out.
Right. No, that's great because, like you said, they go do the job, and that's what I love. You've got great sponsors that not only do they provide financial support, but they're also providing jobs and everything. Because I was looking
Absolutely.
through the list of graduates from Cohort 17, and we'll touch on why they're called cohorts in a minute. But Cohort 17, there were a couple of them I saw were working with Jeff over at Broad Street,
Oh, yeah.
you know, so forth. So they were getting like hands-on, having to work, and it's like 8 in the morning until like 3 in the afternoon. So they're staying busy, and
Oh, yeah.
also too they have to show up on time.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Oh man, I would so be fired.
You did.
So be fired.
Like,
I'm just thinking. I was like, well, I need this, I need this, I need this. I'm sitting there looking at your whole list.
oh gosh.
So, how many people? Number one, cohort. Why is it called a cohort?
So it's really important to us to have kind of a small enough group so that each member gets individual attention. The kind of third leg of what we do is social services.
Yeah.
Most of the folks who come in have some kind of barrier, whether it's unstable housing, access to physical or mental health care, access to a vehicle.
Yeah.
So we have 2 social workers on staff, and each member gets at least an hour of one-on-one time with a social worker.
Okay.
And even things like vital documents. You know, the first day of work, you gotta have a birth certificate, a social security card, driver's license, And a lot of our members don't have those documents. So
Really?
that's kind of the major thing that we usually end up doing is helping them get vital documents. So that's one reason why we use a small cohort model.
Keep it small, yeah.
The other piece is our members, and this has been like such a fantastic, I don't know why I'm surprised, but they really bond with each other and become this support network. I'm always, around like week 4, there's like this moment usually, either in like morning meeting or sometime during the day where, a member's having a struggle and the other members just really buoy that person and help them through. So that's been an amazing kind of side effect is the small group allows them to build a support network.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a lot of the reason why folks are disconnected. They just don't have this kind of support network.
Right.
I think about my parents, my friends' parents, my family. If I hadn't had that support, I would have never gotten through high school, college, all of that. And so that's one of these amazing side effects of Refill is they're really building their own support network, which is great.
How did you come up with the model in the first place?
So Jordan Butler is actually the mastermind behind the curriculum, and it was very important for us to really approach this from the youth perspective. So we wanted to meet people where they were at and have enough flexibility to tailor the program to individuals while also kind of, obviously every program has to have outcomes.
Yeah.
So we had to make sure, we had a curriculum that produced outcomes. So we do use the Smart Start curriculum from the Community College Board, and that kind of guides them through some of these professional skills. And they also leave with the NCRC, which is the National Career Readiness Certificate, and the Smart Start certificate as well. So that curriculum kind of allowed us to guide the content, but we kind of tried to make this program like a crash course in adulting.
Yeah. Exactly.
We actually call the curriculum Adulting 101.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking the whole time. It's like, I need that.
Yes. So it was originally really based off of that Smart Start curriculum, but we've really kind of embellished it to make it kind of a holistic experience for each member.
Yeah. So, I mean, 2 big wins I see. Number one, like you said, you get that support group that they get, and also the day they graduate, it's not like you're just cutting them loose and into the wind.
Not at all.
No, they get like 10 weeks more.
10 months.
10 months. Sorry,
Yes.
10 months. Well, that's a lot better actually. So,
Yes.
Yeah, 10 months. But anyway, they have, they can pick up the phone or they can stop
Absolutely.
by or they can.
And they do.
They do.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to ask them that.
Mhm.
One of the things I was stalking the Facebook page,
Yay.
which, it's fun to do. But I loved not only to seeing people from that were graduating recently. I mean, literally, your graduation just happened for 17, which, by the way, congratulations, 100%. Everybody graduated.
They worked so hard.
That's
to
the
get
first
there.
time that's happened. That's
Yes,
fantastic.
I'm so proud of them. Ugh.
That's really good. But one thing, what I really liked is seeing like people from Cohort 12, and stuff like that, their successes too. So
Yes.
this isn't just a sugar high. This is something that has shown to be a long-term success.
Absolutely. At our Christmas party this year, a holiday party, we had folks from Cohort 1 come back.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And they,
What were their thoughts? What were they experiencing?
I mean, they're always glad to see the staff. They're always fascinated to see the new folks, and they love to give advice, which is always great advice. They're like, you gotta put in the work, you gotta stick it out, you gotta show up every day. But I mean, I think a lot of them, again, the skills are great. They all move on to do different things, but it's those pieces of just connections and knowing that somebody's got your back.
Right.
Whether it's the staff or the board or the other members, and that really means a lot to the graduates. We do provide incentives if you hold down a job for 30, 60, 90 days, things like that to try to get them to come back, and of course it helps with data collection as well. But most of them come back and just on their own to say hi and check in, and they're always excited to tell us what they're doing. So
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. They get a stipend too. Right?
Yes, while they're in the program, They earn a stipend. We do breakfast and lunch every day.
Nice.
We provide transportation. The goal is to really create a space for them where they can concentrate on what they're going to do next.
Right.
We don't want them to worry about, what am I bringing for lunch? How am I going to get there? We really try to free up their minds so they can dream about what the best next future for them is.
Yeah, exactly. They can focus on the task. And in 9 weeks, a lot of change can happen in 9 weeks. That's a good amount of time. Was there some scientific thought behind 9 weeks, or it just seemed to be a good amount of time?
Originally, it was 10,
Okay.
and a lot of that had to do with, I believe, we had a ServSafe certification when we ran the cafe.
Yeah.
So it allowed for them to complete, different curricula and get certifications. And now we've kind of settled on 9 weeks.
Okay.
So it really allows for them to finish the NCRC and the Smart Start curriculum, get kind of a decent amount of work experience, and build that cohort, support network.
Cohort 18 is launching. I think it's literally, when does it start?
July
16th?
18th.
18th. Very
Yes,
good, very
Tuesday.
good. I'll trust you more than me.
I hope that was correct.
Well, you can always go check out the Facebook page.
Absolutely.
Because there are actually posts on that.
Mm-hmm.
How can people find out how to sign up?
Sure, so we make it very easy. We have a very short application form. It's right on our website, or you can do refilljackson.org/apply. And what happens is you just basically put in your contact information, and someone from our staff will email you, will text you, will call you. If you're interested in us, we're going to track you down. So then we do an in-person interview, and then we do the selection process.
So I'd imagine, do you do like an exit interview on the way out and then kind of
We do.
Yeah.
We have a pre and post assessment.
I'm about to say, that must be fun seeing the growth.
It's so interesting to find out what they thought specifically was helpful at Refill. And we do a lot of kind of like numeric measures of growth. So it is really great to see their progress and kind of hear their feedback for us.
Anything that obviously I have not touched on that you'd like to talk about?
I think I'm just so proud of the work that we get to do. A lot of the young people who come to us, have never been in a space before where they can really take some time to imagine what their future could be like. They're kind of in a reactive mode and sometimes survival mode. So it's really like a joy to be able to create that space for young people and just see the genius that comes out when they're free to do that. So
how many people have you trained since 2019?
149.
149.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Lots of wonderful alums out there.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the statistics on that, and I think it was like 78% or got either a job or went on to more education.
And this year, in 2022,
Yeah.
it was last year, right? Yes. It was actually 96% of our
96%.
graduates went right into the next thing. It was amazing.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Well, congratulations. I mean,
Thank
number
you.
one, what an incredibly rewarding job for you. But I mean, also too, you're setting up for other people to have rewarding jobs also.
I love it.
So what was your first job?
My first job was as a camp counselor
Camp counselor?
at the YMCA.
Oh, how'd that go?
Well, I don't
Was
have
it
any
terrifying?
kids,
You
so
don't, yeah, it was terrifying. Mine was a high school custodian.
Bless it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was great. So I got to clean up after the kids.
Yeah, I got to clean up after the kids too.
That's kind of gross, isn't it? Kids are gross.
They are very gross.
They're disgusting. But I can tell you what, though. I mean, honestly, it was the most important job I ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what y'all are doing. So thank
Yes,
you so much.
of course. I'm just pleased to be able to do it.
Caitlin, once again, throw out the website for everybody.
It's www.refilljackson.org.
Yeah, and seriously, go stalk their Facebook page because there's some great videos and great stories on there as well. I mean, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right. Hey, and congratulations for finding Mississippi Stories and for watching today. And if you'd like to watch more episodes, you can go to MississippiToday.org and also read some great coverage and some good cartoons too. Click on the like thing on YouTube if you want to see more of these as well. And hey, thanks. We'll be again next week. I'm here on Mississippi Stories. Thanks again for watching. Thank you for watching this episode of Mississippi Stories. Make sure to subscribe to the Mississippi Today YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified every time a new video uploads.